So you're considering starting dropshipping in the UK, or perhaps you've already started, but you don't know how to register a company and you don't know whether it's the right decision anyway. Well, my name's James Eardley, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to register a company, but first we'll discuss whether you need to do it in the first place. So if you're new to the channel, my name is James Eardley. I've built and scaled 7-figure e-commerce businesses, and I now create these YouTube videos to help you achieve the same time and location freedom. So firstly, should you register a company in the UK in the first place if you're dropshipping? Well, it's completely up to you. You have the choice, but if you make no decision and if you continue to dropship, then you'll default into being a sole trader, and therefore the income that you generate while you're dropshipping will just be classed as personal income, the same way as the income is classed when you earn from a job. Or the other option is that you form a legal entity of some sort, so a separate legal entity like a limited company or a LLP, a limited liability partnership, and then there's a limited company that is actually operating that business. The main benefit of operating as a sole trader to start with is that it's more simple and you can just start dropshipping and then worry about taxes and the legal side of things down the road. But the main pro for setting up a legal entity like a limited company is that you're able to sign higher quality suppliers, because often they need to work with limited companies. And also it means that you are more taking your business seriously. And that's the reason why I started with the limited companies, because I knew this was going to be not just a side hustle, not just a hobby. I really wanted to make real money dropshipping. And so I set up a limited company from the very start so that I could really operate it in a way that wasn't a hobby and it was a real business. It's important when you consider whether you want to register a limited company that you understand the tax implications, because it will be taxed differently depending on which decision you make, and it will be slightly dependent on your current situation. But for you, if you're considering whether it's right for you, you can just get in touch with an accountant and they can help you make that decision. And also I've made another video on my channel all about whether you need to register for a limited company or not for UK dropshipping. Now, moving on to the part of the video where we discuss how to actually register a limited company. This means you've decided that it is the right decision for you. And so the first thing that you'll need to make sure you have or you consider is that to register a company in the UK, you'll need to either have a UK address or you'll need to work with a formation agent in the UK, and you'll need to use their address for your company's registered address. That's because every company in the UK needs to have an address associated to that company. And so either you can use your personal address if you have one, or you can work with a formation agent. But a very quick way now for you, if you know that you don't want your personal address to be in the public, then I recommend going across to First Formations and using their services to get your company formed. Okay, if you're like I was, and I just wanted to get my company registered immediately, and I was happy to use my home address, then I'll walk you through the process on the gov.uk website to get a new company formed. So the first step is to go ahead to Google and Google Companies House, and then we'll open up the Companies House website on gov.uk, and then we're looking for the option to set up a company. Now, the government website gives us a little step-by-step guide for setting up a limited company, and it provides more information here, firstly about whether a limited company is the right option for you. So as well as our discussion already earlier in the video and my other videos, have a read of that, make sure that you feel like setting up a limited company is right for you. Then you'll need to have this information understood before you go ahead and start registering a company. So for the name, all you want to have for choosing a name is a really generic name for your dropshipping business. So oftentimes you can just use like your initials and then Retail Group Limited. So mine could be JE Retail Group Limited, whatever it is for you, something generic that doesn't tie you to any particular niche or product, because you want to be able to set up more than one store in the future under the same limited company. And you can have as many different trading names as you want. But your limited company, if that's too reference to like a particular niche, it might be confusing then to the other stores. So I recommend just having like 123limited.com, limited, something like that. Very generic company name. For your directors, it will just be you, or if you're going to go into partnership with somebody else, you need to have that all to hand. You'll need to know if you're going to have significant control over the business. So if it's just you, you'll have 100% of the business, of course. And then all the documents will go through and then check what records you need to keep. And then we can go ahead and register your company is the next step. So a few considerations for registering your company. You can have a read about the rules for company addresses. and then check what your SIC code is. And instead of having to go through the whole list, I can give you a head start and tell you that your SIC code for setting up a dropshipping business will be 47910. So 47910, and that is for retail orders across the internet is the SIC code, and that will be representative of the trade and the type of business that you're running. And then you can go ahead and click register your company with Companies House. Okay, so I'll go through this, and you can see that this cost is £50 for you to do this yourself. And so you'll need to have £50 ready. This is a one-off fee. Once you've registered your company, it's up, it's done. And it's another way of putting more skin in the game to know that you're taking this business seriously. So have that aware. And then we can go ahead the process. So are you starting a new application? Will be yes. A few questions to ask before you start to make sure that you understand. Will you be using a card or PayPal? Yes, I recommend you have a card ready to go to pay for it. Are any of the directors, persons control on the Companies House register already? So that will be applicable to you. If you've never registered a company before, it can be no. You'll now need to create a government gateway ID. So you can create a government ID through here. So just enter your email address. We just need to then put the verification code in for your email to be confirmed. And then we're going to go ahead and fill out your full name. So that'll be your middle name as well, if you have one. Then you create a password for your government ID. So whatever password is memorable for you. And then you'll have your government gateway ID. And that will be sent to your email address. Okay. We're going to make sure that all the access codes are set up correctly. So I choose text message. And then you have to add your phone number. Then once you've added that code from your phone, you've set up your additional security and you can continue. Okay, next stage is to choose the email address that you want to have associated with your account. And again, choose the same email address that you used before. Your relationship to the company will most likely be company director, if you're doing it for yourself. Will the company be a community interest company? So that's only relevant for you if you are setting up your company for the community interest, and there's certain ways that you'll be taxed for that, but most likely that'll be no. Will the company be limited by shares or limited by guarantee? And if you want to be take profits from the company, then you'll be limited by shares. Then we get to the more exciting stage where we're going to set up your company name. So this is what we talked about earlier, and so you will be choosing your generic company name. So what I would recommend, as I said before, would be perhaps your initials, and then it can just be e-commerce or retail group limited. So for example, not sure if that will be free. You can also check that company name to make sure it's not already been trademarked, because otherwise, if it has been trademarked, then you won't be able to use that. So you can use this search by trademark area of gov.uk. Once you're happy, there's no trademark in place against that name that you want to choose, then you can go ahead with that. And then you can choose the ending of the name, so either limited or LTD, whichever you would prefer to go with. Then you'll choose which email address you want to have associated with that company again. So you'll be choosing the same as well as that you've already set up. And that's just a case of confirming that again. Now, the part we talked about earlier is this is where you're going to be entering that UK address that you'll need the company to be registered to. And at this point, I recommend putting in your personal details, your personal address. So we'll go ahead and type in the personal address that you have at the moment, or you might have just had a chat with an accountant or a formation agent. At this stage, you might be entering theirs, but enter the registered address that you want your company to be registered for. Then once you've added your address, you'll be choosing where the company will be registered, because there are different rules that apply to different parts of the country. So it'll be wherever your registered address is, wherever you've put that area. Then we need to confirm where the company's principal place of business will be. And for dropshipping, most likely the company doesn't have a principal place of business, as it's more of a HQ than where the business will be operated from. So for now, just choose the registered company address, and you can always change that down the line. Okay, the next step is to type in your contact number and make sure your email address is correct as well. Then the next page, you'll be choosing if the new company is replacing another business or not. And at this stage, it depends whether you've been dropshipping or not in the past already. And if you've already been working as a sole trader, then that would be yes. Or if you're getting just started and you're brand new, then it'll be no. Then on the next screen, we'll choose when will the company start trading. And I recommend you just choose on the same day it gets set up, because you'll be quickly taking action and start selling. If you know for any reason that it's going to be a bit of a delay, then you can choose a different date in the future as well. On the next page, we'll need to let Companies House know in the first 3 months if we'll do any of the following. And in my case, it's no, but have a read through to make sure that this doesn't apply for you. Then what the company will be doing. So we mentioned this before, and the SIC code that you want to use for UK dropshipping will be 47910. So retail sale via mail, order houses, or via the internet. And then you can save and continue. Then you get another option to check and confirm if there's any other business activity that you'll be carrying out. But if it's just e-commerce, just dropshipping, then that will be the only SIC code that you need to enter. Okay, then these options will apply to you. So has anyone on the application ever sent a secure register form to Companies House for protection? So make sure that's applicable for you, but in my case, that's no. Then you'll be adding your details as the director of the company. So enter all of your details in here. Then the correspondence address for yourself. You want to enter and agree whichever address is best for you to get your letters to. So make sure you have access to this address for the letters that are sent. Or if you've chosen a different address, then make sure you have that set up so that they'll email you your post. So choose the address again, and then you can click Save and Continue. Then you choose where your home address is, but this won't be publicly available, unlike the registered company address. So you can Save and Continue, just the Companies House need to know where your home address is. Then you get an option to receive filing reminders by email, and that's handy just so you know what's going to be required of you at certain times. You can get a reminder by email, and then you just choose the email address that you want those reminders to go to, and then continue. Next stage is to choose whether you want to add another director for your business. So this is if you're going to be in business with somebody else. In my case, that'll be no, but this will be the stage where you'd add another company's director's details if you are going into partnership. Then the next stage is just to confirm that you've got all the details correct from previous pages. So you've made sure that you've got all of your address, your address, your name, everything's correct. And then you agree to become a director and you agree to move on. So at this stage, I'm going to pause my own application because I don't need to set up a new company at this stage. But all you need to do, you're very close now, you're already over halfway, confirm the details are all correct. And then the next few things that you'll need to do on the next few pages will just be assign the number of shares to the company and the value of those shares. So I recommend that you have one share for your company and you make the value of that share £1. And then that, don't have to worry about anything else, just make it one share, £1. That's the way I like to set up my company. And then just keep moving through the application all the way until you get to the point of payment, which will be a £50 payment. And then you'll receive the letter to confirm that you're a director, and you'll have a limited company on Companies House, which you can then operate through. And it's a simple process. I've taken you through over half of it there. Any questions, of course, post those in the comments beneath this video. So now with your company in place, you've taken a big step. So congratulations to getting your UK dropshipping business off the ground with really stable, solid foundations. Next thing to consider is that another step of making sure you have the right foundations in place is to have a bank account set up. So a business bank account. I recommend using Tide. So it's a complete digital bank. You just need a phone and then you can operate all of your business finances through the app. And it's a very simple setup. You just go to Tide and get your business bank account set up. and then you'll be applying for that business bank account under the name of your new company address, because it will technically be that company's bank account. So set that up. Something else to consider now is that now you have a limited company, there will be things that you need to do and get in place to make sure that you are operating that company sustainably. So after the first 12 months of being in business, you'll be required to complete your corporation tax return, also do your web filing statement, and there'll be different things that you need to do now that you are a director of a company. So I recommend you just get started on your business now, knowing that you have a company in place. Get started trading, make money, focus on the profits, but know that you do have requirements. So between now and the next 12 months, you'll need to speak to an accountant for their help in getting all of your accounts lined up. But it's absolutely worth your time and money to use an accountant rather than you have to worry about doing that yourself. And the only other reason you'd get in touch with an accountant before that time is if you become VAT registered before that time. So that would be when your business does £90,000 in turnover over a 12-month period. At that point, you'll then reach the threshold to become VAT registered. And again, that's another stage to contact an accountant to get them to help you out with your VAT returns for your company. So now that you have a company registered, you're definitely on the way out of the 9 to 5 and into having a life of more freedom, having an online business. But if you are struggling with that journey, then I am growing a community of like-minded, ambitious business owners, so we can help each other out on that journey towards building an online business. So if you're interested, it's the first link in the description. You can join that community. It's completely free. Don't worry, completely free course, not selling anything here. And you can check that out if you would like to join that community and get around other ambitious people. If you found value in today's video, then hit the like button, subscribe and comment to let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you so much for watching the video today, and I'll catch you in the next one.